Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Connor here, and welcome back to the first live stream in quite a while. I've decided to do one. It is on match day. I am working later on, but before this, guys, hold with me. We're going to get into our sponsor, OneFootball. One Leeds is now sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball is a really classy app. You can get all of your Leeds United updates on this app. You can get all the transfer news, injury news, match day news, and it really is top quality. The most downloaded app regarding football on the site. So make sure you go check it out. The link is in the description, and I hope you enjoy the video, guys. Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing fantastically well. And make sure you go download the OneFootball app. The link will be in the description. It feels a little bit novel for me doing a live stream again, but we are back on One Leeds here to talk everything through West Ham later on today. It's going to be a really interesting game. We've got a lot to go through, so make sure you get your comments in. We have a specific section at the end where we are going to be going through your guys' questions if you want to talk through anything regarding the game. Hopefully, I'll try cover absolutely everything. But hello, welcome, and let's get into it, shall we? So the game coming up tonight, it is a nighttime kickoff. It's a massive game for Leeds United. Hello, Sam. Come on, the boys in white. Jurgen Klopp, hello. Max match on together. Danny Thompson, friend of the channel. Now then, Big Rich is here. Afternoon, Connor. So welcome to everybody. If you wouldn't mind slapping a like on the video, it just gives me an indication that you're enjoying what I am doing. So let's get into sort of the tactical breakdown of West Ham United. In a sense, we're going to talk about Leeds, but we're going to talk about West Ham United as well. Now, the big talking point this week has been what? It has been Robin, Koch and Llorente out. Now, I don't know about you guys in the chat. Please let me know what you think, but I'm actually fine with that. The reason being is because I really like Luke Ayling at centre-back. I've said before, I'm not 100% sure on him, but that Villa game, he was just unbelievable. And let's be real, guys, as well. They had height. They had an abundance of quality in attack. You know, we had Ollie Watkins coming forward. We had Jack Grealish, who cuts inside and runs at centre-backs. Luke Ayling dealt with that absolutely fantastically well. He was absolutely superb in that match. Luke Ayling going to centre-back, no problem. No problem at all for me. I think that's a really good change by Marcelo Bielsa. It's forced, but really interestingly, after that game, with Llorente at centre-back, this might be quite controversial, and I know it was his first game. I would have put Ayling at centre-back anyway. I see Llorente as a backup to Robin Koch when Robin Koch's injured, but I think from what I saw and from what I've heard and what I've seen on Llorente, I do think he is a backup. I think he was bought as a backup, but I think Luke Ayling is more proficient. He's more efficient in that system than Llorente is right now. So I would have chose Llorente after Luke Ayling anyway. The only stipulation I have with it now is the after effect that Alioski now has to go left back. And we're going to get onto that in a little bit. Maybe Pascal going centre back would have meant that Luke Ayling could stay right back, Alioski could go left back, and we could keep, Stuart Dallas could go left back, and we could keep that similar structure at the back. But that's not the case. Bielsa's already released what he's going to do. Guys, there's a lot of comments coming in, flooding in, to make sure you get them in. Meslier will be essential tonight with claiming corners. West Ham set pieces from threat is concerning, and that we will be getting onto that very, very shortly. Koch and Llorente, that was a big blow, but we can easily deal with it. Jamie Harris, hello, Connor. I hope you're doing fantastically well. I hope you're all doing fantastically well as well, Jamie. Steve Wilkinson, my West Ham fan mate, says, when Antonio is out, we ain't so good. Allah has been pants this year. We'll be watching with interest. Really interesting. And we're getting onto Allah in a little bit, so stay tuned. So, the back line, we've spoken about it already. Strike, there was an argument for. I was doing a stream the other day with Baron Cross on Leeds United Live, and we were talking through it. And the difference is with Strike, he's been involved in a lot of heavy defeats this year. You know, I hark to Crystal Palace, which was a very disappointing defeat in our eyes. You know, it's a team for me that we should be competing against. We should probably be beating. And we fell to a really heavy defeat against Crystal Palace. He was at centre back. He's not solely at fault, of course he's not, but the defence was a little bit all at sea in that game. You know, I think we can all admit that. Liverpool as well, the 4-3 drubbing. Really, no, not drubbing. That's a shocking way of putting it, Connor. It was a valiant fight from Leeds United. 4 goals conceded. And the numbers do add up, don't they? And Berram was making that argument yesterday that a lot of his positional play isn't expert at this moment in time, but he's only a young defender, so he's going to learn. So that's the pivotal part about it. Now, the key part for Leeds United is that we've got 2 of our best attacking players in the team in Rodrigo and Rafinha. Now, those 2 are absolutely massive. Rodrigo, for me, could fit in any side in the Premier League. Any side. I'm not talking about the starting 11, but I'm talking about any sort of 14, 15, including obviously substitutions. Rodrigo fits in any side. He is world class. Spain's number 9, part of the Champions League campaign last year for Valencia. He is top class. And you can tell whenever he comes on, he changes Leeds. We saw Leeds transition into a 4-4-2 last time when Rodrigo and Bamford were on the pitch. Rodrigo in the 8, go into a centre-forward role alongside Paddy Bamford. I can see Leeds doing that in this game. I think Bielsa's going to revert to a 4-4-2 instead of a standardised 4-1-4-1. I think that's how we're going to go, especially when we're in attack. And I think Rodrigo in that 8 role is going to help Paddy Bamford. So I think that's key. That's a key point because what Rodrigo's going to do, as he always does, extremely creative, gets the ball out of his feet, either shifts it left, shifts it right, or has a strike. And his strike of a ball is incredible. He's very good at sort of his decision-making. His decision-making is extremely good. And that separates a good player from an excellent player. And for me, you've got someone like Jack Harrison down here, someone like Rodrigo up there. The difference is the decision-making. And we'll get onto that in just a little bit. But I think Rodrigo's massive in this game. Him starting with Rafinha's little runs, Rodrigo picking him out. And I think this is really where we can hurt West Ham. The key is, guys, that we start very, very fast. Leeds go in the lead. We know as soon as we go in the lead, there's a massive chance that we're going to win the game. I think it's only 1 game out of 26 now, obviously, with last weekend. In a sense of away games that Leeds have taken the lead and lost the game. You know, we're very, very good at when we take the lead, going and seeing the game out, which is key. So it's going to be absolutely pivotal that Leeds score first. Leeds start quickly. And that's the key thing to look at, really. Leeds United starting quickly, because West Ham start notoriously slowly, which is, I mean, this is huge. It's our strength against their weakness. So we've got to make this all about our strengths against their weaknesses and not make it the other way around, because as we know with West Ham, they've got many strengths that are our weaknesses. So yeah, I mean, another key battle tonight is going to be, as I've got marked down here, it's going to be Alioski. Now, we're going to get onto Alioski in just a little bit in terms of his positional play and what he needs to do. But Alioski has to be so good in this game. And the reason being is because last time Jared Bowen was at Ellen Road, he got completely scuppered by Stuart Dallas. Stuart Dallas was absolutely phenomenal against Bowen. Bowen was unbelievable at that point. I think there was Grusicki on one side, Bowen on the other side. Bowen, I think he got more assists and more goals at that point than anyone in the league. But he was kept quiet by the Cookstown Cafu. Dallas was absolutely superb. I believe he got man of the match in that game as well, kept him quiet. And the reason was because Bowen likes to cut in on his favoured foot. Dallas obviously on that left. His natural side is his right. So anytime Bowen cut inside, Dallas's strengths on his right-hand side, he was able to cut him out. It worked tactically brilliant. Bielsa did a number on Hull City and Jared Bowen. The problem is now, what we face is Dallas going to right back, which I'm absolutely fine with. I think Stu's going to do fantastically well. Alioski's the problem for me, in a sense, because I'm never convinced by him defending. So putting him up against Jared Bowen, who's seamlessly transitioned into the West Ham offensive blueprint. He's been very, very good for West Ham. Quite wasteful in the Premier League, I will say. Quite wasteful, but he's a very good player. We know that from the Championship days. So Alioski, no fouls, Ezcan. No fouls. No silly fouls around the box. No petulant fouls. Nothing like that. Because Set Piece City is coming our way. BFG FC is coming our way. Peter Crouch FC is coming our way. They are massive, massive team, and we cannot afford to give petulant fouls away. And I sort of blueprint Alioski as that guy. I love Alioski. I really do. I think he's good going forward. For me, he's a substitute. He's not a starter for Leeds United, consistently. He can't. But one of the most frustrating things about Alioski, number one, not making a 5-yard pass, which sends me absolutely loco. But it's his giving away of fouls. It's his giving away petulant fouls on the edge of the box. And we've seen it multiple times this season. He's got to keep his head. He's got to stand the man up, usher him out of play if need be. Force him back. Stand the man up. Stand the man up, Ezcan. Do not dive in. Let's have none of that. We don't need any of that, especially against this lot. We do not need any of that against this lot. You're going to have Jarrod Bowen who's going to run at him, and then you're going to have the potential of Alioski giving away fouls. Listen, I'll be so confident if he just stands him up. That's fine. And I hope that's been drilled into him for this game. If I had a choice, just a defensive player up against Jarrod Bowen, I would be putting Leif Davis in there. I really, really like Leif Davis. Listen, there's a reason he's not getting in the side. I know that. There's a reason he's not getting in the side. Leif Davis defensively is better than Alioski for me. He's stronger. He's quicker. When he came on against Man City, he shut them down. He was brilliant. And for me, he should be starting this game against Alioski. I'm not the boss. I'm sat here in my room. Marcelo Bielsa is the coach, the wonderful coach, the man who's given us so much joy. And listen, I don't feel like I have to explain this every single time that, it is my opinion. I would start Davis over Alioski tonight. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about that. You got T saying Leif Davis was awful against City. I completely disagree. I thought Leif Davis was good when he came on. I thought he was very good. And that's just my personal opinion. I think physically they didn't really get anything down the flanks. You look at what they produced down the flanks in that final 10 minutes, did they? That final 15 minutes, did they? With the attacking impetus they had in that game? I don't think they did. And I think he's a very good left back, and I think Alioski is more of a left wing back. That's my personal opinion. That is my personal opinion. I think he's more of a left wing back. Now moving on as well on that left hand side, I think another key thing is going to be Jack Harrison. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I think he's gone off the boil in terms of his performances since Liverpool. His crossing in has to be better. You guys come on this channel for raw, real, authentic. I'm not going to come on here and blow smoke. It's not me. I can't do it. Jack Harrison has not been good enough for me these last 2 or 3 games. Me and Berren have had discussions about this. Berren thinks he's been okay. I think that he's been very wasteful. He gets in good positions. Alioski and Harrison on that left-hand side, they have to start producing good crosses for Patrick Bamford. We all talk about Patrick Bamford. Now we might not convert chances. There needs to be chance conversion with good balls in. And from that left-hand side, for me, it's very weak in terms of crossing balls, beating men, overlaps, successful overlaps with conversion. It doesn't come enough from that left-hand side. It's brilliant from the right-hand side. We create much more on that right-hand side. Has to be better. I thought Jack Harrison got absolutely pocketed by Reece James against Chelsea. Needs to be better. Needs to be better against you coming up against Kufal, who's a very good standard right wing back, but we can get at him. We can get at him. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. Jack Harrison has to be much better, much more economical with the ball, and a much better delivery. Now, what did we all want to get on for this game? Set piece City, didn't we? We all wanted to get on this. Set pieces. West Ham United, they've got an expected goals per set piece of 4.17, which is second in the league to Chelsea. So we all know what's going to happen. We all know, and this is why I revert consistently back to Ezcan Alioski. He's not going to be the only one, but it's the petulant fouls on the edge of the box, which Leeds cannot afford to give away. We saw against Chelsea, I think 7 of the 8 balls that were played into the box from corners were won by a Chelsea head. We saw in the first minute when Giroud missed a gilt-edged chance from a corner that could have put Chelsea 1-0 up. The concentration, the focus has to be 10 out of 10. No individual mistakes. Listen, let me know if you agree with this in the comment section below. If you disagree with this, no problem. This is what this channel's all about. It's about a debate. I love talking football. I love talking Leeds United. Would you have men on the posts? I would. I think at this moment in time, Leeds are sort of zonal, but man marking from corners. It looks odd. It looks odd. And it just seems like with the mid-zonal thing, it seems like players have a run. I thought Zuma had a run on Cooper last weekend. And it worries me a little bit. There's a man on the post. That Zuma goal doesn't go in. And I do not like Patrick Bamford on the front post. I don't know what you guys think about that. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say about corners, because I think there's some fundamental flaws with it. The mid-zonal man marking thing that we do from corners. You get the smaller man on the bigger man. You've also got our tallest man on just literally on the edge of the 6-yard box, knocking the ball out. The delivery in the Premier League, there is not going to be many balls that hit the first man. We've seen that with Mason Mount. We've seen that throughout this entire Premier League 10, even with Trent Alexander-Arnold, with Virgil van Dijk in the first game of the season, Kevin De Bruyne. We know that the balls into the box are going to be absolutely brilliant, and they're going to beat the first man, aren't they? So why have one of your tallest men against West Ham United out of the box? Have someone like Alioski there. I don't see the logic in having Patrick Bamford. Patrick Bamford, for me, should be marking someone like Sebastian Haller. Someone like Patrick Bamford should be marking someone like Ogbonna to give us assistance with these set pieces. That's just my personal opinion. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say on that. What would you do with corners? Because there has to be a plan here, because they are just massive. And with Masuaku, who looks like he's going to be out for West Ham tonight, looks like Cresswell's going to go to left wing back. And then it looks like Issa Diop's going to come in, who, he's 6'2", 6'3" again. So we've got an array of huge West Ham players. I think we need help with Patrick Bamford. I don't think Patrick Bamford should just be that first man, because I think 90% of the time the balls are going past Patrick Bamford and in the box. So yeah, and this is a really excellent point from Ben. Agree. Look how Harry Kane plays for Spurs. He always attacks the ball in defence. That is such a good point. You never see Harry Kane just stood there. The ball's been played in. You don't see Harry Kane just outside the box. He might be on sort of that 6-yard periphery, but he won't just be alienated. And I think this is the problem with Patrick Bamford. I think we know how good he is in the air. He's so good in the air. And we need to start getting him involved in it. That's my personal opinion anyway. I need to stop saying my personal opinion. But listen, there is a lot of positives. We're going to get into it. I'm just breaking it down tactically. I've not spoke to you guys on the live stream for a long time. I want to know what you guys think. So obviously I've got down here, no petulance. We don't want to be giving away set pieces. The other one we need to talk about is Saïd Benrahma. I think Benrahma's going to start this game. Pablo Fornells is okay on that left-hand side. I think they're going to start in the 3-4-3 formation, which we've seen with Wolves, we've seen with Leicester, we've seen with Arsenal. And the difference is, in this 3-4-3 system, they don't press high, West Ham. They don't press high. We saw that with Wolves. They pressed high a little bit in the second half, and that's where we struggled. Leicester pressed high on the wingers. You do not get this from West Ham, which means Leeds are going to have a lot of space in the middle with someone like Calvin Phillips. I think because Rice is going to be defensive, Souček's going to be defensive. They're not going to be pressing high for me on Calvin Phillips. So Calvin Phillips is going to have a lot of the ball in this game. But Saïd Benrahma, as a part of that front three, you're going to have Bowen on one side, Haller in the middle for me, and then you're going to have Benrahma. So once again, Stuart Dallas, I've got no qualms with Dallas. I think Dallas is going to do a really good job, but concentration with someone like Benrahma, we know, is absolutely key. Sam's LUFC blog, thank you, mate. I'm going to get into your comments in a little bit, buddy. I know you've put a fair few in there. We're going to, guys, if you have just joined, please slap a like on the video if you're enjoying. We've only got 1 like on the video so far. Please, if you're enjoying these, make sure you do that. Fanny Mick says it's all about hanging on to the ball tonight. I think that's key, and I think that's what Bielsa's illustrating. Is it realistic? And if it's not realistic, can we make plans to stifle it? You know what I mean? From corners, I just think there's so many more things that Leeds can do from corners that are going to help us out. So last week was an absolute SHIT show in terms of corners, wasn't it? It was an absolute SHIT show. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if Leeds have developed anything on that. Antonio's out. Massive. Absolutely massive. Antonio being out. The reason is he presses from the front. He gives them energy. He's clinical for me. And him being out is huge. It looks like he's going to be out for the next month, which is massive. So I listen. I think that's a big thing for West Ham. His energy leading from the front is big. Obviously, he scores goals, as I've just said, for West Ham United. Him being out is big. Sebastian Haller, what does he give them? Height. Height. They're all massive. Height. He gives them height, which is a big thing. We saw him score a brilliant goal, the only goal in the game at Bramall Lane, which saw West Ham take all 3 points from Bramall Lane. He's hot and cold. I don't think he's an excellent player. I think there's probably a player in there, but we saw it against Man United when he fell over in front of goal. You know, he's a bit of a lasogga. That's how I see Haller. I don't think he's a great player. Flashes of good play, but I think they lose a massive amount when Antonio's out. So that's a big plus for Leeds United. A big plus for Leeds United is the fact that Sebastian Haller is in. Will he be able to keep up with the press? Will he be able to hunt? And this is why I don't think West Ham are going to be pressing. Sebastian Haller leading the line. They are not going to be pressing from the front because I don't think he's got that in his locker, which means that Leeds United are going to be able to come forward. Calvin Phillips is going to be able to dictate play, hopefully. So now what's another point? Leeds have to be clinical. Now, this is a little bit of a sort of similarity between both clubs. When I was watching West Ham last week, they're not very clinical. They'll score a goal, but Man United, they could have had 3 or 4 in the first 60 minutes. That has been a criticism from West Ham fans on their own side. They're not massively good at converting chances. Ding, ding, ding. Who else aren't massively good at creating chances? Leeds United. What's the differential with Leeds United in this game? Rafinha, Rodrigo. That is what I'm clinging on to, the fact that we've got a world-class player who's going to be coming in. He's going to be assisting Patrick Bamford. And the last time we saw him start again with Patrick Bamford, Aston Villa 0, Leeds United 3 in the performance of the season. So for me, this is huge. Rodrigo and Rafa. Roddy and Rafa. This is massive. And if we can start the game quickly, if we can score early, that's going to have to invite West Ham are going to have to come at us. What's that going to leave for Leeds United? Space. But when we get space, we can't be missing 4, 5, 6 chances. We've turned round against Arsenal. We've said we should have won that 4 or 5-0. Everton, we could have snapped 6 or 7 past them. We've got to start taking more chances. You know, Rafinha, there was a wonder goal against Everton, which meant Leeds won the game. We have to start taking these easier chances. I revert back to Harrison in the first 3 minutes against Everton. Harrison again with the header at the back stick, which hits the post. You know, Rafinha against Arsenal, you know, hitting the post from a very good effort. You know, Bamford missing a fair few against Everton. I'm not just picking on certain players here. I'm sure there are loads of other chances that these are just off the top of my head, but we have to be more clinical in front of goal, because if we're not, we're going to rue our chances. Because you know what's going to happen, don't you? Leeds will miss a couple of chances and then set piece City will come our way. The land of the giants. You know what I mean? 6 foot plus FC. That's what's going to happen. And we've seen it happen before. So Leeds take our chances. We take our chances early. We win the game. We win the game. So yeah, that's genuinely what I think now. So as I said, we start quickly. Now, we've a really, really interesting development that I've got on my notes here. Illan Meslier. Now, corners. We've spoken about what we can do. Patrick Bamford. We've spoken about what we can do in terms of having certain players on certain players. We've spoken about what we can do in terms of you know, dealing with the corner. Now, I hark you back to Everton away, Sheffield United away, Wolves at home, Man City at home. What are the correlations there? You probably won't get it because it's a very specific point. Illan Meslier, a wonderful shot stopper. Probably the best we've had since Nigel Martin, shot stopper. Could even be better than Nigel Martin in terms of shot stopping. That's how good he is. 5 million. Oh, incredible signing. Distribution, not there yet. Not there yet for me. And once again, this is me putting my neck out because this is what I like to do on this channel. I don't follow the status quo. I'm going to come out and say my own opinion. For me, on corners, he needs to start helping Leeds more. He's 6'6/6'7", whatever he is. We need help from corners. For me, against Chelsea, there was too many times he saved us in that game. Shot stopping. Let's separate this now. Shot stopping and corners, okay? He needs to come out and start claiming. I hate mentioning this because I can't stand him because, you know, Man United and all that. Peter Schmeichel always used to come and claim and be big and powerful in his box. corners. No opposition had a chance when Peter Schmeichel was in net because he'd come out, he was big, he'd catch the ball, he'd punch the ball. And anybody who was in his way, he'd clean out. Illan Meslier is 6'6", 6'7". He has to start coming and claiming from corners. We need assistance in height. When you've got Issa Diop, 6'3", Balbuena, 6'2", Ogbonna, 6'4", Declan Rice, 6'2", Souček, 6'4", Sebastian Haller, 6'4". 7 players here, 7 players who are beyond 6'1", 6'2", and this is key. People, we can out football them. We can, of course, we can, but they're good. There's not been one game where Leeds haven't conceded a set piece or a corner. It's minimum 1-2 a game, and we saw last week with the conversion that Chelsea had. West Ham are only second in the league to them when it comes to set piece conversion. So we have to manage this game better. Illan Meslier needs to stop being so rooted to the spot from corners and set pieces. He needs to come out and clean everybody out and give us that height advantage. When Illan Meslier puts his hands in the air, he gets to about 7'1". We need that in this game. We need a dominant goalkeeper. If the ball's on the penalty spot, and Sebastian Haller is there, I want Illan Meslier coming and cleaning him out and getting the ball as well. Ball preferably first. This is where we need assistance because it's factually not going to happen. A 5'11" player up against a 6'4" player. So we just need. For me, this is a massive game for Illan Meslier. Meslier, for me, is the key player in this game. We've got Calvin Phillips going forward, who is going to switch Leeds' play fast, and I think we're going to build, and I think we're going to do very, very well on the flanks. Illan Meslier from set pieces has to be more commanding. He has to come and collect the ball and punch everything. He's our height, and we need height in this game, and we need to manage corners better, and he is the key. There's too many occasions where he's rooted to the spot from set pieces for me. I think shot stopping, incredible. Arguably one of the best in the league this year. I think he's been that good. And he's been so important for Leeds. Say match winning moments for Leeds. You hark back to Sheffield United. You hark back to even daft things like when Jamie Vardy's going through on goal for Leicester's 5th and he makes a brilliant save. There's been so many where he's been superb. Chelsea was excellent. Every game is excellent. That is the one criticism though. The 2 criticisms, I'm not massive on his distribution yet. I think it's good, but I think you're kidding yourself if you're just saying his distribution is 10 out of 10, because we know it's not. There's a lot of times where he puts Leeds under pressure for me, but I'll let that go because he's been so excellent. From corners, set pieces, he has to do better. We need more from him. And that's where I think it's going to be. I just think I think that's where it's won and lost, guys, for me. Set pieces and Leeds scoring early. Get your comments in. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say. If you have just joined, like Lee Smith has, if you've just joined, like Lee Smith has, you can watch this back on the playback. Get your questions in. Better than Nige, says Si. That's a bold statement. At shot stopping, I think Meslier is. Nige was unbelievable, but Meslier is probably the closest we've had to him. What about Click Connor? He has been excellent this season. I think he's been brilliant. And listen, this I get this. I get this with a lot of fans. I don't want to come on here and for you guys to think I'm cussing people out. I'm not. For me, this is where we win the game. My personal opinion. I think we can win the game tonight. But you and I know from set pieces we have to be better. Click been brilliant this season. I think he's been absolutely excellent. Connor, what about Costa for Harrison? The issue with Jack Harrison is I don't know if Costa can play on that left-hand side. I think it's like, as I've said before, it's styles make matches. It's like UFC, it's like boxing. I think Costa is set up for certain games. I think he was set up for the Chelsea game, if I'm honest with you. Tight spaces, tight little pockets. I think Costa's perfect for that with his dribbling, his agility, his ability to go from one foot to the other, his balance, his coordination, his pace. I think he was set up for the Chelsea game. The problem is people go on about Harrison's defensive duties. Harrison was the one who lost Reece James for their first goal. Reece James kept bombing on. Harrison kept losing him. I like Costa. I do like Costa. But I think Harrison is better than Costa right now. I do. I think he has more of an influence on the game still, but he's not doing enough for me. That's my personal opinion. I still don't think he's doing enough. Meslier needs to bulk up. You're on smoke today. That's why you put a Stony on. Yeah, maybe. Meslier has a long way to go to reach the levels of Robinson or Martin. When he is pressed, he panics and distribution suffers, but it has huge potential. Interesting. West Ham are a big team. I'm going to be sweating from every corner. Eddie, you bang on, mate. I think every Leeds fan is going to be. I think it was just last week, and we forget about Sheffield United when Sheffield United had the balls in at Bramall Lane when McBurney. I think McBurney missed for about two centimeters out from a corner, and they had numerous corners as well. Everton as well, balls in. The problem is, I keep saying when you put Bamford there and all the big men are here and the ball consistently goes over Patrick Bamford from corners, it's a complete waste. There's no point in having Patrick Bamford there. And if you're having a goalkeeper who's rooted to his spot, it's inviting it. It's almost like it is just one-on-one, isn't it? It's a man marking thing, which physically it's impossible for someone like Alioski to beat Angelo Ogbonna. It just doesn't work. It's never going to work. So, I don't know. Let's have a look what you guys are saying. Leif Davis will be fullback cover. Yeah, I know a lot of people disagreeing with what I said on Leif Davis. If you prefer Alioski going back, that's absolutely fine. Philip Anderson having it here. Everyone smash the like button. I appreciate that, mate. Running a YouTube channel as well as running a job, as you guys know, it's tough work, but I love it. I love talking to you guys. Let's have a look. So get your comments in, guys. Listen, we're reading them out. Ollie Coulson, Cooper needs to fix up in the air. We know we can do it. Look at the West Brom game when Hernandez scored early like a man possessed. Do you know what? What I will say, Ollie, is I know we tripped over. And you're going to be surprised at me saying this because I know before you guys have said that I criticised Cooper too much. I think he was really good last week. I thought he was one of Leeds' standout players. And I think we all talk about Robin. We all talk about how he's the starting centre-back. Robin, for me, has made more mistakes this year, individual mistakes, than Liam Cooper has. But Cooper just gets scapegoated quite a bit. And I'm not saying you're scapegoating him here, Ollie, but I think he was all right last week. I think he was all right. I thought he played well against Everton as well. I think there's been a lot of... The problem with Cooper is what we know is going to happen is there's going to be a sustained period of time where he's out the side. And now we've got Llorente out. Now we've got Koch out. We're just hoping that Cooper injury, that standard Cooper injury, isn't going to come soon. Rafford score tonight. I think so. Let's hope so. Connor still can't bring himself to say Koch. Yeah, it's just when I said daft things like Koch out. You know what I mean? Do you think 30 million is too much for Rodrigo to say what he's done so far, LUFC 23? No, mate. I think he is world class. He's Spain's number 9. He's better than anything we've got. Me, technically, going forward, I think he's wonderful. And we've not played him enough yet. And when he starts, I think we're going to start seeing a massive difference in this Leeds United side. Look at the games where he had COVID. We're building up momentum after that Villa game. Gets hit by COVID. Out for the Leicester game, out for the Palace game. Obviously, we know, Calvin was out as well. Massive. But those two out, Leeds just completely capitulated. And we just couldn't stand up to it. So, Cresswell at centre-back might happen. Yeah, and another big thing to draw on, guys, is the fact that West Ham might go to a back four. With Masuaku being out, he's the standardised left wing-back. If he is out, that means they could go to a back four. They could change system. I think West Ham are going to come. They've had an average of 40% possession this season. They had 30% possession against West Ham, against Leicester when they beat them 3-0. They had, listen to this, we know how defensive Wolves were against us and how they just let us have the ball. West Ham at home had 38% possession against Wolverhampton Wanderers. That in a stat's mad in itself, and they beat them 4-0. So West Ham are setting up. They'll just let us have the ball. They'll let Leeds have the ball. The challenge for Leeds United is going to be scoring the goals and actual, maintaining creativity, which, we always create chances. It's that chance conversion, isn't it? I think Rodrigo is insane. He just needs to be started more often. I would agree with that. Ben White, 35 million looks fair value. Mate, that kid is not worth 35 million. He's worth 60, 70. Class. Unbelievable, Ben White. Unbelievable. And, I've watched him this season. duck to water, as we knew he would be in the Premier League. But what can we do? There's no point in looking in the past. He was there for us. He did a brilliant job, but he's going to be playing at Man City, Liverpool very soon, and a lot of people will be calling him world class. I think his percentages, he's currently top 4 in the Premier League in terms of average ratings for centre backs. He's replacing someone like that's always going to be ridiculously difficult. This is a guy who never missed a game for Leeds United in the Championship, I don't think, and was averaging about 7 out of 10 minimum every single game. Moyes masterclass, hopefully not. Connor, Phillips or Rice, the big question. They're different, but Phillips, hands down, he's got more to his game. Rice is younger, I believe, but Phillips, 100%. He's got more to his game, and that's because of Bielsa. He can go forward, he can defend, he can switch the ball better than Declan Rice for me. I think Declan Rice is just the typical sort of destroyer. He's good at passing, but I think he's much more lateral. I think he passes it more sideways than Calvin does. I don't think he possesses that switch like Calvin does, which I think sets Calvin apart from other defensive midfielders in the league. Right, guys. So that is it. I mean, we've gone on. There's 163 of you watching. If you wouldn't mind giving me 163 likes, that'd be great. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Do it for us, please. Yeah, guys, I'd really appreciate that. OneFootball, download that for all your football needs in the description below. You can always go and watch this back. Obviously, I know the game's tonight. I love watching Leeds content when we're playing on the eve of that day. So if you want to watch it back, you can literally go and play back and watch it. Also, if you want to see more live streams, get it in the comment section. If you actually want to see me do more live streams, more interactions with you guys, because obviously I know I normally do the editing. I just think with the editing, it takes more effort. You know what I mean? I think it's more effort, and I think you guys, would potentially appreciate it more with the effort. But if you prefer this, let me know in the comment section below, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you in a bit.